On July 16, 2022, Governor Baker signed into law an act relative to extending certain state emergency accommodations, which extends the expiration of the provisions pertaining to the open meeting law to March 31st, 2023. This extension allows public bodies to continue holding meetings remotely without a quorum of the public body physically present at a meeting location and to provide adequate alternative access to remote meetings. That's a little typo. As such, this meeting of the Peabody Institute Library Board of Trustees will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Alternative public access to this meeting shall be provided in the following manner. And there's a list of items here, 1 through 2. It's being televised by Peabody Access Television. Thank you, Jim. And 2, real-time public comment during the meeting can be addressed to the Board of Library Trustees utilizing the Zoom virtual meeting software for remote access. This application will allow users to view the meeting and make comments or question to the chair via the open option. And then we have some links and some contact information and telephone numbers after that. Going to the agenda provided with the announcement, I'd like to call to order a roll call. Sarah, please.
Peter Bakula.
Present.
Stephanie Dallaire. Francis Gallucci. Don McAllister. Stephanie Najjar.
Present.
Kate O'Brien. Thomas Pappas.
Present.
Ann Quinn.
Here.
Richard Truhan.
Present.
Jennifer Smith.
Here.
Ruth Teitelbaum.
Present.
Katrina Vassallo.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda item here is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of June 8th, 2022. Take a minute for these, and I'll ask for a motion to approve and receive. Is everybody still reading? Okay, I'd like to have a motion to receive the minutes of June 8th.
Motion to receive.
That was you, Katrina?
Yep.
Thank you, Katrina. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rich. Is there any discussion? No discussion. Let's put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Receipt of communications. I haven't received any communications. Are there any communications? There is none. Report of the library director.
Good evening, everybody. As I've mentioned before, this is a brief report, pretty much just following up on the things from the June meeting, and then our meeting in 2 weeks on October the 3rd will be a long one, so be forewarned, with a lot more information and policy changes. So this is pretty brief and just a quick summary of the summer. Director's brief report to the Board of Library Trustees, September 2022. Staffing. This summer brought new staff and promotions. Jenny Usovich began as senior children's librarian in June and immediately hit the ground running with story times, crafts, and new collections in the children's library. The union and city approved the transition of a part-time assistant position into a full-time and benefited public services assistant position, and Melissa Giacobbe, a longtime aide, began in that position in August. Former aide Alexandra Pappas moved into a part-time children's and teen assistant position in August as well. And former aide Jeff Spencer returned to the library as full-time custodian, and we are thrilled to have him back in Peabody. With these promotions and other aides leaving for higher paid positions at other libraries this summer, we're having a difficult time filling vacant aide positions with 4 currently open. The aides who have left are all incredibly talented and dedicated, and we were honored to get them started in the library world. Programs and initiatives. Fall programs have begun, including our seasonal Monday evening concert series in the Sutton Room, the return of Professor Theo Harris in October, and the ramping up of children's team and creativity lab programming for the beginning of the school year. Assistant Director Hayden submitted the MBLC's required annual report and information statistics report, and I will present a summary of her very encouraging statistics at the October meeting, including our FY22 and summer programming attendance, as well as the past year's circulation statistics, which have more than doubled since this time last year. Technology. The library website was successfully migrated to our new Bluehost server with no technical issues or downtime for patrons or staff. Budget. I have provided a copy of this month's budget, including the first few months of FY23. Everything is on track. As I shared with you in June, the library's FY23 budget was approved as requested and satisfies the MBLC's city minimum appropriations requirement for full certification. The annual MBLC financial reporting paperwork is due on October 7th, and I anticipate no issues receiving full certification, which will be voted upon by the MBLC later this fall. And then to wrap up, building and grounds, I'm currently working with city purchasing agent Dan Doucette to begin requesting bids for the first step of the courtyard reimagining, proposals for the lighting, landscaping, and hardscaping work to turn the courtyard into a sustainable and accessible programming and public space. One company will be chosen to draw up plans for a multi-year project, and I will then begin to seek funding for each phase separately. This first planning phase will be paid for with state aid funding. I'm also working with City Security Director Keith Bloom and City Purchasing Agent Dan Doucette to request proposals for upgrades to the main library security camera system, including the installation of cameras at the branches. The first step of this project, replacing our current cameras and adding cameras at the branches, will be relatively inexpensive and will be paid for with state aid funds. The next step of the project, adding new cameras inside the main library and outdoor cameras at all locations, will be costly as new wiring will need to be run, etc., and I plan on requesting those additional funds from the city as a capital improvement project. And that's it for tonight.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it. Just want to make some positive commentary on the circulation statistics having more than doubled. It's nice to hear that we're on the right track here. It's really great to hear that. Everything on track with the budget. That's good to hear too.
Oh, the budget did include $1,000 in the trustees line item, so it's back.
And thank you very much for saying that and having that happen. Much appreciated. I just want to point out there's no relation with Alexandra Pappas to my name. It's just a common name. I just want to point that out. And also the cameras are a great thing as well. Thank you for that. Any questions for the director?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Ann, please go ahead.
In the minutes of the last meeting, you talked about the installation of sensors or...
Yes, did I not include that? Those were installed about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It was a slow process because they were being installed all over the city, but they are finally installed. I just have to make sure that they're connected and up and running. But they were installed a week and a half ago, maybe.
Oh.
It's recent, but they're in.
Yeah.
Is this the purple air? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a question. What is environmental justice?
I think it's, if anybody else wants to chime in, I think from my understanding, it's the idea that, areas with, low air quality and, heat deserts tend to be areas that are populated by people from, lower income communities and tend to be populated by Black and brown people and minority groups. So the idea is that if we are working towards, in an area like downtown Peabody, which has a lot of immigrants, a lot of Black and brown people, it's an area that we would assume has maybe lesser air quality. And so these air quality monitors will let us, get a read on air quality all over the city and make sure that certain groups of people who are maybe less advantaged and more disadvantaged than the rest of us are living in a, less healthy place. And anybody else can chime in if they want to add to that. But that's my understanding of the term.
Okay, Ann?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Kate. Anybody else have a question for our director? Stephanie, you're on mute.
I'm sorry?
You were on mute. I think you were talking.
No, I'm in the house with other people, so
I'm sorry.
I don't have good circumstances right now. That's okay.
I don't want to miss anybody here. So if there are no further questions.
I have one question, Tom.
Rich, go ahead.
How long is this test going on, Kate? Is it like 6 months, a year?
I think the grant that the health department received from the state, I believe, was for a year. But then I think after that, they will kind of stay up indefinitely because it doesn't really cost anything. It just costs, a little bit of electricity to keep them going because they're hardwired to our electrical systems. So it's for a year, but then kind of indefinitely, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Anyone else? All right. Can I have a motion to receive the director's report?
I make a motion, Rick Struhan.
Thank you, Rick. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Ruth. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, let's put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Reports of committees. Going next. Hold on one moment. I have a few things, but let's go down the list. All right, so for the executive committee, I really don't have much to report, but I thought I would tell you that I did have to sign 2 pieces of paperwork, and keep me honest, Kate, please. One of them was the ARIS form, and that had to do for the Massachusetts Libraries Board of Library Commissioners. It has to do with the FY 2023 State Aid to Public Libraries Annual Report. And Al had put this material together, and I guess it required my name from the trustees as well as the director's name. So I signed that this month. Another form that I had to sign not this month, sorry. Take that back. That was over, actually 9/13. It was, that one was. The other one was that we were having a clinic here from Mass General Brigham Women's at the main library. And this is a booster clinic, takes place every Tuesday. And I had to sign some form from an MOU form. Is that correct, Kate?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sorry, the clinic, the vaccine and booster clinic that we host every Tuesday and have been doing for 9 months now, 6 months, a long time. It also, for example, so it's Tuesdays at the main library from 3 to 6. It's also at Haven from Hunger, the food pantry before us. And so it's an MOU that the Mass General staff have all of their locations signed, basically saying that they have access to like the public restrooms. And of course, it's not an issue for us because public library, but there's some organizations where they might not have as easy access to restrooms and those kind of facilities. So it was a no-brainer for us because they've been coming every Tuesday for 9 months and no issues yet. But
I did ask the question. I asked, will they not be allowed to use the bathrooms if you don't sign this? It was kind of interesting to me that they had to request permission. So those are the two things that I did. Not very much, but I'm just being above board with that all. So if we move along, Audubon.
Oh, I can actually add something about the Audubons since we're here. I'll pretend I'm Audubon person for the minute. The Audubons that have been the 15 that we sent out back in the spring will be ready in the next month or two. And then they requested, I just got an email last week saying that the Audubons will be done soon. And then they requested knowing how many we're going to send out again. So I'll bring that up at the next foundation meeting. But those are chugging along and they're making good progress on them. So
thank you, Kate. Building and grounds. Rick?
I have nothing further already mentioned in the director's report.
Okay, thank you. Personnel, I think Don. We don't have Don here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm remembering him from the last meeting we just had. Policy and procedures, Katrina.
Nothing new to report.
Thank you. And liaison to the Peabody Institute Library Foundation, Stephanie.
Hi, I'm sorry. I have to move my laptop. Sorry. We're a little crazy in my house tonight. So we just had a meeting you can hear me, right? Yeah. We just had a meeting prior to this meeting at the library and discussing Starry Night, October 19th, Wednesday. And we're making good headway on vendors for food supply, as well as the gift cards and prizes for the gift boxes that we sell. We're all set on the high end items. The raffle's going to go. The raffle tickets will be sold for the 50/50, as well as the high end items like the YMCA membership and the Treadwell's ice cream party and Total Wines that Ann Quinn got. So that will have those raffle tickets. And then we have the gift boxes. So the gift boxes is where we need to collect as many gift cards from the trustees. Every year we traditionally do that. For Starry Night, it used to be wine, 2 bottles of wine, and we can't do that anymore. So the more gift cards you can get, the better. Each gift box is being sold for $20. So we're guaranteeing a value of $20 or more within that gift box. So if you could, in the next few weeks, try to get gift cards, that would be fantastic, and then turn them into Martha, so we can have as many gift boxes available for purchase. We're just confirming a lot of little details, but if you have any connections to anyone who is in the restaurant business here in Peabody or Danvers even, or locally, and you can approach them with a solicitation letter to see if we could get hors d'oeuvres. It's just an hors d'oeuvre function, so it would be something simple. Please feel free to reach out to them. So I think that's the quick wrap-up version.
Thanks for the detail. That's very good.
Stephanie, is there another planning meeting scheduled?
They didn't know. Daryl wasn't there. It was a smaller group. We had a few on from Zoom as well, but we did not pick another date. Anne Marie nor Martha picked a date. So I know there will be one. They didn't set a date. Sorry.
Okay.
So we'll have to get on that. I'll remind them.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Can I have a motion to receive the committee reports?
So moved.
Oh, actually,
Thank you.
Tom?
Yes.
So I know that we don't really do there's no official liaison to the Friends anymore, but Al Hayden, who used to be president of the Friends and is dealing with that whole issue right now, is here. If we would like her to give a quick update as to the status of the Friends.
That's actually really good. Al, if you don't mind. Thank you, Kate.
Not a problem. Let me see. There I am. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So let's see. Back in 2020, which seems like 100 million years ago, I did end up having to resign my position as the president of the Friends because I became assistant director that September. And that was kind of a conflict of interest, but I still maintained my status as staff liaison to the Friends. Unfortunately, COVID really did a number on the organization. There were far fewer members. A couple had health issues and were forced to back out of what had been some really, really heavy duty volunteer duties. They were always very hit the ground running and very hardworking. And I think after COVID, everybody just kind of had a really hard time getting back into the swing of things. Because there were so few people left, and they weren't really able to accomplish all that they had been able to in the past. The Friends have voted to dissolve. So I am working on that process right now. It's involving making sure that all of the state taxes are up to date. We were under the 50,000 mark so that we didn't have to so that we could file a federal exception, but we still had to file these state taxes, because we brought in usually anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a year on behalf of the library. So the the Friends still have a current bank account. We are trying to get those funds transferred to the library. There's a very healthy amount in that includes past memberships, past donations, and also an extraordinarily generous bequeathment from a longtime donor who had donated yearly in memory of his mother. And he would send us donations all the way from California, and he had passed on and had very generously left the Friends of the Library in his will as well. So that is additional funds. What Kate and I have talked about doing, and the Friends have also okayed this, is that we are going to use all of the funds left in the Friends, because they had always supported mostly programming for the library, and they were a big part in getting the Creativity Lab put together in 2014. Do I have that date right, Kate?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that money is going to go towards the upgrades that the Creativity Lab still needs to be a current and really highly functional and up-to-date makerspace for our community that already loves it. So we want to make it better for them. So we are in the process of that right now. There are legal entailments because it has to be officially dissolved, and there are financial entailments because the taxes need to be caught up to date and the finances and the bank accounts need to be updated. So it's a bit of a slog, but we are moving forward with it, and we do have the approval and the blessing of the remaining Friends members in order to do that.
Just a question on taxes. I thought that that was a nonprofit organization. Why are there taxes? I really don't know. That's why I'm asking.
So the Friends have to file Massachusetts state tax every year. All 401c3s are registered through the state. So it is a requirement. Like I said, we don't meet I think it's the $50,000 threshold to file federal taxes. It's not necessarily a payment of taxes. It is a recognition that we are collecting the money and spending it where we say we are going to be spending it. So they want to know what we're taking in and what we're putting out. So we usually only actually ended up paying a state charged filing fee. But the state, it is required every year by I think it's the state attorney's office. It's been a while. It'll come back to me, but it is required in order to make sure that the nonprofit organizations are registered and up to date with the state, so that people can actually see where the money is going that people are donating to these organizations. So it's basically public information.
Thank you. And if you had a crystal ball, would you be able to have some kind of insight as to when this organization will be officially dissolved?
I'm hoping within the next couple of months. It's sort of, we go through spurts. So we have moments of wonderful productivity and we're able to get everybody kind of together. I've gone through a couple of hurdles with gathering votes from the remaining Friends members and whatnot. But then we have to make sure that all the taxes are filed up to date. So we've got to track down some bank statements in order to make sure everything is accurate. So it comes in fits and starts. And unfortunately, where I'm kind of the last one spearheaded this every time there's a scheduling crisis or a staffing crisis or the error statistics come due. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up as high on my to-do list as I would much rather it to be, but I'm really hoping that it would be within the next couple of months that we can move forward on this.
We won't hold you to it. We know how busy everybody is. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to receive the committee reports along with Al Hayden's talk on the Friends? Thank you, Stephanie. Do I have a second? Thank you, Anne. Discussion?
I have a question for Al. Will a letter or be going out to the members discussing maybe where they can donate instead of?
Yes. So the foundation is now the sole fundraising body on behalf of the library. And we do still have all of the member records. We had anywhere from 200 to 300, 250 to 300 members in any given year. And yes, I think it's really important to not only acknowledge the value that all of these members had added to the Friends and to the library, but also to let them know how they can continue supporting the library. So that's something that as this process moves a little further along and we have a more solid idea of dates and when things will be happening, I'll be drafting a letter to submit to the foundation so that they can recognize what the Friends have done and thank everybody for their generosity and their incredible support of the library for all these years, and that they can continue to do so through the foundation, which has the foundation and the Friends always basically had the same mission, which was to support the library and make sure that the library had the programming and the extra amenities that it needed to serve the public in the best way possible. We just approached it slightly differently. So I think from what I understand, the foundation is looking to take on one or two of those approaches that the Friends had adopted. And so, yes, that's a very long answer to basically say, yes, absolutely. The members absolutely deserve that. And that will be something that I'll make sure gets done. It's just, again, a matter of timing on it.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion on the floor? Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye, that's 4, right, Rick? It was a delayed aye.
Yes, I was a little slow.
I think it was the system. It wasn't you. So, all right. Thank you. The motion carries unanimously. Unfinished business. We have 3 votes that were out there electronically. Can I just bring them up and ratify them here? There was a vote for, let me just give it to you here. I have all my notes written down. There was one for the International Festival, able to use the courtyard. There was a vote that was put in. Rich Shruhan gave a first, and he says, I make a motion to allow the use of Peabody Institute Library's courtyard during the International Festival, September 11th, 22. Jennifer Smith seconded. 10 people have voted. Anne, I don't know if you saw the email, but you weren't on the vote, or you didn't take part in the vote. And I didn't because I'm just a tiebreaker. So how do we go about ratifying this vote? Can we ratify all 3 at once, or can I just explain what was done? Or would you like to do each one separately?
Can we not, since we already voted on them, just read all three and we can vote on all three if everybody's okay with that?
Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Just see some head nods. Okay, good. All right. The other vote, electronic vote, was there's a staff meeting happening on October 3rd. This is from Kate. She wants to close the library. So Don made a first here. He made the motion. I move to approve and vote for Kate's plan for the all staff training on 10/3 from 9 to 11 and all locations opening at 12. This has to do with the library closing. 10 people voted in favor. Again, Ann, I don't think you saw the vote. You didn't take part, and I didn't take part. And it's the motion carried unanimously. Here we have one more, the third one. This is to change the meeting date from the 12th. We had Labor Day this month. The first was made by Don McAllister. He made a motion to change the September meeting from the 12th to the 19th, which is tonight. And we had a second from Rich. Everybody was in favor, and this time, Ann, you were on that email vote too. And I'm the only one who didn't vote as a tiebreaker, not necessary. So can I have a motion to ratify these three votes?
I make a motion to ratify all three votes.
Thank you,
I
Stephanie.
second.
Thank you, Rick. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Let's see here. New business. Well, there's some older business here. Can I continue in this section here? I will. I just want to make some positive call outs. I know that Allison Bridgewater got our library in the media in a very positive way. Teen librarian. She was talking about the upcoming banned book club for teens. It starts in September, and there's a lot of airplay from WBZ4, WBZ Radio, Channel 7 News. And it was done very nicely. I think a lot of us, or all of us, must have seen it. So thank you very much for that positive publicity. I think that's good. That's what libraries are about. The other thing too, I just want to bring out is just a reminder. And Kate, this is this has to do with the public meeting, the library meeting going on in October. What's the date on October 22nd in Shrewsbury? And this has to do with the MBLC trustees meeting coming up. That's all. Just wanted to point that out. Just remind everybody on that. And the other thing too is just real quickly is that there's we were at the foundation tent of the International Festival, and I think I was talking to Don or Rick about I think there's a sax player playing in our courtyard, and the acoustics were just phenomenal. I thought they were really good. The way the hard walls were projecting the sound, it just sounded really good. So Kate, I mean, the idea of doing something with that courtyard is just brilliant. I think that if there's any musical venues in there, the sound would be just really nice to hear outside, and the buildings really help facilitate that. So that's just another positive note. And that's all I have here. Is there anybody that has new business? Any resolutions? Okay, number 9. There was nothing suggested, any matters here to the director of the library. The issuance prior to the agenda. And then number 10, any matter suggested by any person in writing to the library director prior to the issuance of the notice of agenda, the meeting containing a title and description. I don't believe we received any of that. And with that, I think the next meeting is going to be on October 3rd. That's the first Monday at 6:30. And as you see that the Governor Baker still has this the open meeting laws altered so we can have them online. We'll determine then what we'll do. That's all we have this evening. And I want to point out that it's 7:14. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Ann. Do I have a second on that? Thank you, Stephanie. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And thank you, Sarah, for those great minutes. I look forward to them every month. You help my brain work a lot better when I start reading them.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank
Of
you,
course.
everybody. Much appreciated, especially to our director this evening.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.